Hi. Hey guys. So, it's been a while since I've done anything involving Jurassic World Evolution since their update, actually. And it's oh boy, this is going to be interesting. So, this video you're about to see is going to feature a lot of official and unofficial stuff, and we're going to try and figure out where this game is going in the way of DLCs, updates, and what they may or may not implement into the game in the future. Unfortunately, before I jump into that stuff, I need to clear the air because this is oh man, like this has actually discouraged me from making JWE videos. Jurassic World Evolution is one of my favorite all-time games right now. I would play it way more if I felt like I was more welcome into the community at this point, but yeah. Anyways, I'll leave a time code right here if you don't want to get into the drama right now and you just want to see the cool stuff. But I need to clear the air. This has to happen, and I need to, I guess, be heard on this before we move forward, because guaranteed it's going to pop up in the comment section, yada yada. So I am very sorry if this is boring for you. So here's the deal. There are numerous creators on YouTube actually taking Steam Blast's work and actively trying to use that work in videos that they're creating about JWE without crediting Steam Blast. They even go to the point where they try to mask his watermark and completely avoid mentioning Steam Blast at all, which is entirely wrong. It's not okay to do that. You always credit someone for their work. And in my own community, I'm very well known for crediting people and their work and all that stuff, yada yada. Artists are people I have a lot of respect for because that is a very special skill. Steam Blast is no exception to that, with some amazing artwork, as you guys have seen in my past videos. And like I said, unfortunately, there are select creators on the platform right now taking this work and not crediting Steam Blast, and actually going out of their way to not credit Steam Blast and let the world know, hey, this stuff is being made by this talented person. Now, at some point on Reddit, which is a cesspool as far as I'm concerned of negativity and just troll food, I was lumped into the whole equation with these people that were more or less taking the work without giving credit and stuff like that. Ultimately, that doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously it does because I haven't been making JWE videos nearly as much as I used to, but I mean, at the same time, you know, there are people actively posting that they want to see me die, they would pay to see me killed, you know, yada yada yada. Really childish stuff, and I think these childish people need to get ready for kindergarten tomorrow because it's oh boy. You get the idea. Now, there are old posts from Steam Blast's account when someone made an initial thread on me and the images and stuff like that, and something about clickbait and all that stuff. And Steam Blast actually said in the original post that they were cool with the images being used for thumbnails and videos as long as there were credit. You know, it didn't really matter to Steam Blast personally. And unfortunately, Steam Blast's Reddit account and all the other social media went dark, and it's just not around anymore. So Steam Blast 2 popped up. Steam Blast 2 also said it's okay to use these images in videos and stuff like that. Like, it's cool to use them like that. Like, it's okay, just have credit and stuff. Part of the problem, though, is that you kind of hit a gray area, because if you take the conceptual images that you actually feature in the videos and use them as the thumbnail, you're not really in the wrong, because it's still in the video. That's the thing about it. Like, it's still in the video, and it's the most intriguing part of the video. So you use the highlight of the video as the thumbnail. Now, I understand Steam Blast is against this, but this is literally how YouTube works, because it is the focus of the video. I use the focus of every video I make as the thumbnail, because that's basically the focus. That's how you do it. Also, apparently at some point I was suing Steam Blast, which doesn't really make sense because I'm not gonna go after someone like that. That's really dumb. Again, people are being childish as hell. So yeah, it's kind of lumped in with the whole death threats thing, and, you know, this person should die because they're doing this. What some of these creators are doing is wrong. I agree, you should definitely cite your sources, but like wishing death on them and stuff like that, or even myself, and I'm crediting the artist, that's kind of ridiculous in a way. Like, people are trying to make it seem like showing these images in a video is just the most malicious possible thing you could ever do, and you're just like tarnishing someone entirely, which doesn't really make sense. I mean, ultimately, thousands of people who would not have seen the images of this artist or even really started following this artist are now following the artist. It's just, you know, when they don't credit, the artist is never really known, and so on and so forth. So I understand that idea and stuff like that. Now, with all that said and the air a little bit clearer, I hope, we are going to move into the actual meat and potatoes of the video. So thank you for sitting through that, and hopefully you hear me out on this because it's actually gotten a little bit ridiculous, and I don't know. I wanted to clear the air a little bit. I'm not doing anything malicious. I'm not trying to do anything malicious. I want to make cool JWE videos. I want to show the cool stuff that I've seen to the world, basically. That's ultimately what I'm trying to do. I see these amazing pieces of work, and I want to show people. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. All right, let's move into the video. Okay, so now we're past the long-winded response I had for everything that's been happening, I guess, prior to this video's creation. So now we move into some work Steam Blessed has made, and, well, we're starting out with the Mosasaurus feeding show. Now, I know right now we don't know if we're going to get an aquatic DLC or not for JWE. We know that it's a very hot topic. A lot of people want to see JWE get some kind of aquatic DLC. We just don't know we just don't know when that's going to happen and if that's going to happen for sure. We do know the developers have spoken about it in the past, and really all we can do is hope that we see the DLC and everything else. Now, you see the watermark, obviously Steam Blessed. In the bottom right, we also see some credit to two different artists as well for their inspiration and help in this actual piece. I mean, realistically, I feel like this is how they would make the Mosasaurus area look. I do know in the dev interview, they said they didn't want to have it just, you know, half-assedly thrown into the game, yada yada, and just have it look, you know, like another normal structure. They wanted it to have its own unique feel and its own unique aspects. I think this right here especially completely covers all bases when it comes to giving it that wow factor. And all in all, I feel like this would be what the JWE devs look for or are striving towards if they do decide to add the Mosasaurus and all of the aquatic stuff that they want to bring in. However, unfortunately, this does not really cater to anything but the Mosasaurus. So anything else that we would want to see in the aquatic DLC kind of feels a little bit left out. And like this giant lake right here, obviously on the map, I mean, what do we do with the other creatures that would also want to live with the Mosa? Would we have underwater walls separating them into different compartments? How much space would the Mosa need to feel, I guess, adequately happy in this area? And we've explored this section of the map too in JWE, and we know that the water here just isn't deep enough to support a Mosa. As we can see right here, actually, just a little bit away, it's already cresting above the water surface the land is. So, you know, it's one of those gray areas, obviously. We see some flying creatures right here too, a little Easter egg. But all in all, I mean, we have a lot of questions we need to ask, and how big would the Mosa actually be brought into the game? Because we do know they have a tendency to downsize and upsize creatures needlessly and inaccurately for, I guess, the wow factors and just pushing things out of the limelight and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And obviously, I feel like they would have way more lights in nighttime versus, well, what we have right here with a couple lights right here. And it's not actually illuminating the Mosasaur. I feel like we'd have very big floodlights, you know, illuminating the main area. And I feel like floodlights in general would be a good thing to have for a park at night, just so they can illuminate more of the pens and stuff, and it would also impact, you know, like the viewability and stuff of creatures. So that's it for the Mosa and ideas for the aquatic DLC stuff. I think the concepts are really cool. I would love to see the Mosa. I don't think I would like to see it at the scale it was shown in the images I had just shown you, but I feel like all in all it could possibly work. Now we're going to go off track a little bit, but this was actually really interesting to me. So over on Reddit, we have Steam Blessed here again, and they actually created a feathered Indoraptor. I don't know why the JWE devs or the team behind Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, didn't give the Indoraptor feathers. I understand there's a lot of DNA manipulation and stuff like that, but I feel like the whole scaly lizard thing, you know, that we have going in all of the Jurassic Park movies could have been drastically improved and added a huge wow factor if they had feathered the Indoraptor. For some reason, they didn't. I don't know why. I feel like this Indoraptor is infinitely more terrifying than the current one we have. But unfortunately, it's one of the things we may never actually see. I especially like that it has the wings here. It reminds me a lot of the Ostroraptor, for instance, with these feathers here. I just don't know what DNA they would have manipulated in to get all of these feathers and I guess the patterns on the feathers here. All in all, it's amazing to look at, and I think overall, it's a really nice piece. Another piece from Steam Blessed is obviously teasing the flying creatures and stuff. Now, it's not official, obviously, but it is a cool and interesting look into the aviary if it was ever brought into the game, and flying creatures as well. I do feel like some of this is out of place in a sense, but at the same time, I mean, it does work and everything seems to work together pretty decently. I do like that they actually paid attention to detail too with the 21 creatures that are currently escaped and the helicopter currently trying to get them. And well, that's basically that. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. I'm actually kind of interested to know what you guys are more excited for. Do you want to see the Aquatic DLC or do you want to see a aviary-based DLC? Now, I'm also going to jump into something real quick that was posted on the Reddit a day ago, and it was a mystery DLC being confirmed apparently, and they looked down through the information and statistics for Jurassic World Evolution. We see right here the pre-order content and the deluxe DLC from 2 months ago, and then recently in the last 14 days, there was a unknown app added to Jurassic World Evolution right here, patch 953.940. There was some speculation that this was a new unreleased DLC currently being worked on in Jurassic World Evolution, and everyone kind of blew up and was like, oh my god, we have something new coming, and this guy is a genius. Unfortunately, Dreamkiller Bo came into the thread and said, the two that are 2 months old are our pre-order version of JWE and the Jurassic World Evolution Deluxe Edition, still on sale, so that's not an exciting new DLC, as you can see with both of these. Now, this 14-day-old update that they have is listed as a DLC, but we may actually just be seeing the update for the Fallen Kingdom stuff, because I do know they patched some things in that DLC recently, and some other things as well. Now, there is a chance, though, that this is actually another standalone DLC. However, it doesn't really make sense because Fallen Kingdom on its own right was a quote-unquote DLC. So no, I don't believe myself that this is a DLC in the works or anything like that, or there's something super secret we don't know about. I mean, obviously there's something super secret we don't know about. Like, it's a given. This is Jurassic World Evolution. They don't really give out much of what they're working on. You get the idea, though. I don't think this is some super secret big project they're working on and releasing as content. I could be wrong, and most likely I'm right in this, seeing as Bo basically confirmed it as well. But hey, the speculation is there, the ideas are there, and it really, I guess, made the community flood in with their own ideas. However, don't take this and run with it to the wind. And this is it. This is what's happening, because unfortunately, doesn't seem like it's actually happening. Just making note of this because I had a couple people message me and say, hey, do you know anything about the new DLC and stuff? And I'm not aware of any DLC stuff happening. I usually get emails about this stuff anyway, so yeah. Now, there was also a post a while ago about proposed size changes to the creatures in Jurassic World. Now, I'm not sure how versed the person that made this is in the sizes of dinosaurs and how big they should have been, but we can see right here to scale a 6-foot-high human and then the creatures. Now, we see a slight fading right here of the current size, and I assume the proposed new size. So we move down through the creatures, and obviously the size changes are there. Some of them seem pretty accurate, others need some work, obviously, so on and so forth. Now, it actually gets kind of interesting when we move into the larger creatures as well, and the sizes that are proposed for them. And especially, I've noticed with the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which was recently upside, or downside, they did something to it anyways, and the Giganotosaurus, and the Indoraptor, actually, and the Indominus and stuff like that. They more or less have an entire document based on these creatures and what size they should be versus the size they pixelated as hell, versus the size they feel they should have been based off of scientific studies and stuff like that. Now, I do actually have a link to a document I'm going to leave in the comment section or description of the video for you to read down if you yourself are an expert in dinosaurs and the anatomy and how big they should have been. Well, hell, feel free to read down through this and go to the Reddit post and make any corrections or anything that you feel should be made. Or if you're in support of something like this, well, definitely show your support. We can see there's a lot of different creatures here. I mean, realistically, I feel like for the most part, they got most things right. I feel like the Indoraptor is a little bit misplaced with its size too. Funny enough, even though it's not a real creature, it doesn't really feel entirely right to me, and I don't know how to explain that other than that's just how it is. Cerrato, obviously, a little bit of a drastic change. I think the Cerrato was recently changed, actually. The Berry's there, the Carno's there, Allosaurus is there. Suko is actually upsized a little bit, apparently. And we have the Tyrannosaurus Rex then. The Jeep and the person is there now as a size of scale, as you can see. And these things, vastly different. Wow, look at that Indominus, too. So that's basically that. You guys let me know what you think down below about these sizes. And, well, let's move into some other stuff. Now, I want to move into another Reddit post by Red Soul 132. And this person actually had a pretty decent idea for a DLC. Now, they actually used some real-world studies and some ultrasonic sounds and stuff like that to basically come to the conclusion that an aviary would take up too much room on the little islands that we currently have. And obviously, an aviary wouldn't work on all of the islands as well, because that's one of the problems. We have really small islands, and then we have really big islands, and aviaries just would not fit correctly, at least, on the very small islands. Now, the idea was to have sonic disruptor fences that we could use instead of an aviary. And there are studies on some birds that show that ultrasonic sounds can be used to limit their movement and where they will wander. And obviously then gene manipulation in the Jurassic Park franchise would come into play and make them highly susceptible to this. See, it gets a little bit messy when you get to the point where, you know, these creatures can be flying around and stuff, yeah, but like if you're gonna make giant fences with these disruptors, you might as well just make the aviary, because you have to cover the same amount of mass with these fences basically. Or you could scale, I guess, the aviary up and down. It's just like, it's one of those things, and like an idea comes to mind, you're like, well, maybe you could just add the sonic disruptors, you know, everywhere across the island and have it so they can fly above the people. The problem is, what would stop them from attacking the people and swooping down in areas they shouldn't be, or like entering buildings? And also, dinosaurs have to crap. You know, what's gonna stop that? Are you gonna put a giant kitty litter pan above everyone that's like glass and stuff? Well, how's that gonna work? They actually move into a new way to feed them too, and how areas would actually need more water or less water depending on the species of the bird and stuff like that. Like, it was actually kind of interesting. I liked it. I'm going to leave a link as well to this Reddit post down below in the comments section or the description. One of the two, you'll find it. You guys can check it out and give some feedback if you want. Now we move in to the modding ideas for JWE. Now, we already know they're very much against modding and having Jurassic World Evolution modded. I know the devs are against this. There's many articles on this and stuff like that, and they actually got upset over someone modding the game a while ago or something. Fun fact, I don't know if this is the same person or not, but I caught wind that apparently someone successfully modded JWE, but they did it one time and they're not going to do it anymore, apparently. It is possible to modify JWE and add assets and do different things to it and change things, but the JWE devs don't want people doing that. Now, this is just an example right here from JPOG and JWE, and, you know, the detail levels and stuff like that. Obviously, Jurassic World Evolution is right here, JPOG is right here. Just imagine if modding was enabled and the anarchy that would cause for Jurassic World Evolution as a whole. We would have people modding the Indominus Rex, people would be modding Indoraptors in so you wouldn't have to pay for the DLCs and stuff. Not that the Fallen Kingdom DLC was paid, but you get the idea. They would basically mod the creatures in that were paid creatures, and you get the idea. You enter really murky waters. Now, this person actually said right here, please add modding to JWE. Modders can't reach JWE quality. They said, just imagine if modders could mod this game. The problem with that is modders could, in fact, mod their games and make them look better than what the JWE devs have done. They could make a better looking Tyrannosaurus Rex. You need to realize that the JWE team is actually a smaller dev team than what I would classify as a AAA studio. And I myself have some experience in modding and model work and stuff, and I can commission someone right now, if I wanted to to make a Rex that looks better than the Rex in JWE. I know people that are talented enough to do this and understand, I guess, creation of creatures just as well as the JWE devs. Developers aren't some godly figures that are able to do something that other people can't do. It's very easy to find people that can model and make, I guess, content at the same level as any developer, really. Look at the developers of The Isle and what they're doing with their creatures. I don't know if you're familiar with The Isle, but these are just normal people as well, making a game, and they're exceptionally good at what they do. I'm sure if they wanted to, they could not only remake some of the creatures in JWE, but they could blow everything out of the water with quality and how they would, I guess, function in an in-game world. And that, my friends, is everything I have for you right now on Jurassic World Evolution and the concepts that people have been coming up with, fan-made stuff, and I guess what we can hope for in the future of Jurassic World. There is no definitive way to know for sure if they're going to add anything to the game until they outright say, hey, we're going to add this because, well, we can do it and we want to. We can really only wait and see, and hopefully have also, I guess, cleared the air a little bit on my motives when it comes to video creation on JWE and showing these cool concepts. I'm not trying to be malicious. I'm not trying to, quote-unquote, clickbait people into watching the video. I mean, technically, every YouTuber is looking to clickbait and get views and stuff, obviously. I'm no exception to that. However, when I show an image in my thumbnail, it's because that thing actually appears in my video. So if I have like a Therizinosaurus made by Steamblust in my thumbnail, well, it's because the Therizinosaurus concept from Steamblust and information about it is harnessed within that actual video. And then I'll center the title around it too and stuff. It's a balancing act, basically. But I already know people are going to bypass every point that I made and just scream and rant and rave. So it's whatever at this point. I don't really care. Guys, that is it for now on JWE. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. What are you most hyped for? What do you want to see in the game? What do you want this game's direction to go? I mean, I want to see modding. That's what I'd like to see, but I don't think we're going to see modding because of so many issues that could arise from that. They're kind of unloading the gun rather than wearing a bulletproof vest, if that makes sense. All right, leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.